For this project, I want to draw some bells and bows and mistletoe. And maybe throw in a little holly if we have time. We might try the stocking, and then you can put some stars around if you want. These are just Christmas related decoration items, things you very commonly see. And so we're just going to practice making those, and then whenever you decide to create a Christmas picture, you will at least have some ideas on how to make some of those things. So to get started, we're going to work in the landscape direction, not the portrait direction. Turn your paper side to side like this, and we're going to start right in the middle with the circle. Now it doesn't really matter how big you make it, because we're going to fit everything else around this big old bow. So I'm going to go a little bit above the middle actually, and I'm going to put two fingers down, and I'm going to put a dot at the top and a dot at the bottom, and that's how big I'm going to make a circle. And I dot that circle in. I realize you may not be able to see that very well, even though it's a pen. I'm working very lightly because I can't erase. So here's my startup circle for a bow. We're going to do the bow first. Now I'm taking my time, and I realize that circles are hard to get right, and so I don't want you to struggle with that. You make something round and you're going to be fine. This is what we're going to be working on right here. It's really not hard to draw. Give you a minute to get your circle figured out. If yours is a little bigger, that's fine. Smaller, that's fine. Alright. Next, we're going to go right up in here. And we're going to stretch a line out like this ribbon has arms, and it's stretch those arms way out there. Stretch those arms way on out. Now, I say way out. Don't go to the edge of the paper. Just look. Let your eyes tell you what to do. Your eyes are 1,000 times more powerful at telling you what to do than my words. Now I'm going to hook on here, and I'm going to stretch two more lines out just like that, except this time I'm going to go downhill instead of uphill. I'm going to hook on to the end of this line, and I'm going to bend it down. Now I'm going to have to bend it back on this, so I'm going to have to come down, 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 and then bring it around and hook it on. Same thing on the other side. I'm going to bend it down, and I'm going to have to go around so that I can bend it back upon this. So I'm going to go down and around and bend it back like that. I'm going to hook on here, and I'm going to loop the loop, and I'll just have to show you because it's really hard to describe. I'm going to hook on there, and I'm going to come out and loop the loop. Right there's the loop. And it gives it a little bit of a 3D effect. I'm going to hook on here and go out and loop-de-loop right there. Now I'm going to hook on right here at the very, very, very bottom, and I'm going to go way down, way down, way down, way down, and I'm going to turn it into an L, great big L. And the L has a back door step right there. And then you hook on and you go back home. You hook on and you go back home. Now that is probably good enough for a bow, but we're going to add a few more little detail lines, which help it look a little more real. Put these in there because when fabric is drawn together, such as when you're making a bow, you get these little wrinkles in it. And that just suggests them. It's not really a detailed drawn wrinkle, but it just tells the viewer this is pulled together, bunched together. And another thing we can do is we can put some little tiny lines right there on the edge. This is a type of shading. It's just indicating, it's letting the line follow the form, and we're just indicating that this is rounded. Now don't go crazy with those. They're not long, they're not big, and don't do a whole lot of them. Just little indicator lines that show that that's round. And then a line here and a line there, here and there. Okay, now what next? We could choose a lot of different things. We got the ribbons, or the ribbon rather, the bow, made from a ribbon. I think we will go with, let's go with mistletoe. Yep, mistletoe. Alright, take a look. You've got a stem, two kind of oval shaped leaves that come to a point, and then the little berries. Not hard. Not hard at all. Where are we going to put the mistletoe? How about let's put the mistletoe. Well, I don't know where you have room on your paper, so you pick out a spot where you have room, and I think I'm going to put my mistletoe right over here. This isn't going to make a finished picture like it's a scene of something. This is just practice drawing Christmas decoration type objects. Alright, mistletoe. I'm going to put a dot right here, and I'm going to leave room all around because I've got some stuff to draw that has to fit around that. I'm going to start with the stem, which is just two lines that go up. They separate a little bit at the top, and then you just cap them off somehow. Now I'm going to do the leaves, and this may be the hardest part, so just watch, and all I know to tell you is follow this path. Let your eye tell you what to do. It's like that. I can't think of anything that it's similar to. I guess maybe it starts as if it's going to be a stretched out rainbow, and then it runs off. And then you do another one at the bottom that's upside down to it. Now, if you have trouble with this, then just draw two ovals out there, and then go back and put a point on them. That's what it is. Here's the oval, and there's the point. I'll show you on this side. I'll show you with a pencil. If you have trouble with it, draw an oval, put a point on it, but then you'll have to go back and erase. Now, if you'll draw very lightly, erasing will be easy. If you draw dark, you put your pencil down, you press down, you just run a line, it's going to be extremely difficult to make any correction to that. Alright, I'm going to go back in and put some details on these leaves. Really simple to do. Just going to stretch a line out through the middle and then put a few little marks going out to the edge, just like this. I'm going to just put a long stretched out line down through there, and I'm going to go like that and put a couple of berries like that, and a couple of berries, maybe a berry here. Now where I'm drawing with a pen, you could put, berries there. Now mine's going to have a line through it because I'm drawing with a pen. If I'd have been using a pencil, I could have got rid of that. Anyway, if you put a cluster of berries on there, that's going to work just fine for mistletoe. Alright, next, let's go to the other side and we'll draw some holly. Oh, and if you have room at the top, I just thought you might be able to write out Merry Christmas across there. Alright, let's see. Holly. For holly, I'm going to put a dot and I'm going to draw that stem that goes up. It's just a double line that separates a little bit. You cap it off. Now I'm going to put my 3 berries right here. And there could be more than 3. I'm just picking 3 because it works for this picture. Now the leaves are different on this one. We're going to stretch a line out this way, and then we put a V shape at the end. Come back up here, slant that way, slant that way. Now, look at that for just a minute because it might get confusing. It's like a line with pointers on the end, pointing in opposite directions. Okay, to finish that up, we just go here and here. And there's your leaf, or a leaf. We'll do more. There could be another one in the middle as well. Alright, we'll stretch a line out this way. Make a point on that end, a pointer. And hook them up. And one more time. This way, that way, this way, that way. Curve this way, curve that way. And that'll work for holly. Now, of all the ones on here, I expect this holly will have been the most difficult. Okay, we have room for jingle bells somewhere. Maybe I'm going to, let's see. Should have planned this out a little bit better for where to put the stuff. They're just going to be spread all around, so it really just don't matter. I'm going to put my jingle bells right over here. I'm going to start with a little circle. And it's going to be this little circle right there. Alright, now watch how I do the ribbon. It's just line that way, line that way. Across the top. And we go back over this line right over top and we loop the loop. Now I'm going to turn my paper around because it's easier for this to draw like this. I'm going to do line 1, line 2, and I think this time I'm going to loop the loop first so that I can get on top of the loop and then stretch that over and hook it up. Turn the paper around. The nice thing about drawing, on a small piece of paper, you can turn it around. If I'm at an easel, a lot of times I can't turn my stuff around easily. I can, but I have to take the mount, I have to unmount it, turn it around, lock it back down, make the change. It's just easier like this. Okay, I'm going to stretch out 2 lines. Now, I'm going to loop the loop on the bottom, because of the way I've got the paper turned, I'm going to loop the loop right here. And then I'm going to stretch that across. And we got a ribbon. Actually, if we did one more piece, we'd have a bow with, 4 pieces, but we're going to put the bells. Alright, so for the bells, I just stretched down 2 lines. They could go further. This looks good to me. Alright, I'm going to go flat across, this way, that way, and then I'm going to put a circle in here the best I can. Now this part might be a little bit confusing. You see how we're going to put these little cuts in the bell? That's where that's what allows the sound to be what it is. Okay, so start with a V. Stretch it out though. And double it up. And then put part of a circle on top. And when you color that in, that'll look right. And a little reflection right there might look good. These would actually be curved to show the roundness of the bell, but if you get it like that, that'll be fine. Alright, now I'm going to turn the paper. These are challenging things. I realize these are challenging things. I'm going to work backwards this time. I'm going to start with the circle. Put this little piece on it. The ribbon goes like this. I'm going to put a V in there, but this time I am going to curve them a little bit. Double them up. Round off the ends. One more time. Alright, I'm going to put the circle. If these are different sizes, it'll probably still work. They're usually the same size. Now I'm going to get the direction for this because when I cap this off, I want the cap to be pointing back to the center. I hope that turned out okay. Now this is a practice sheet, so if some of these are not so great, it's okay. It's just practice. Alright, we've got 4 things. Let's go for a star, and a star is not hard. I'll show you slowly first. You draw as if you're going to make an A, but when you put the middle piece in, put it a little bit high and stretch it out. And then you can go hand to foot, foot to hand, whichever, and hand to foot. If you want it to shine, just put little marks that point back to the middle. Now, if you change the sequence and you draw the A by going uphill, then downhill, and you do your first crossover, and then come flat back, then you can do your last crossover. You can do a star without lifting your pencil off the paper. The difference is these stars are usually inconsistent and not shaped very well, but I'll do it like this: up, down, across, flat, and back. And with a little practice, you can make a star in just a second or two. Now, of the 3, I think that one looks best. That one is a little more uniform and the lines are a little more consistent, but if you're drawing a lot of them and not any one particular is supposed to stand out, then this will work. All right, we might have time for the stocking. I'm going to have to draw it small because of the space, and you've got room to put Merry Christmas up there. Now, the stocking is sometimes a problem. Let me show it to you. We're going to do this part here. Well, we'll do the opening first. It's an oval. Then we'll do the loop. We'll get this part. Now, here's the problem. When we come down, these lines want to go everywhere on Earth. We're going to come down, bend it, and go into a loop. All right, let's do it a little bit at a time, and we'll start with the oval, and then we'll do the loop-de-loop, and I double those up usually because it looks better to me. All right, now I'm going to do the rectangle. I'm going to go ahead and draw it with solid lines. And since I can't erase, I'm going to have some difficulty getting these edges to look right. We just put these little detail marks in here, and this opening, would have it would be thick, and we can indicate that this is open by putting some hatch lines like that for shading. Now when you draw these two lines, they go the same way as the sides of this first piece we drew. And sketch them lightly. Don't go down very far. Okay, now we bend this and bring it back into a curve. And now we want to go back up to meet that, but we want to curve it up there. And there you go. There's a few other things we could add, but we're running out of time, and that's plenty. You have room to put Merry Christmas if you want to put that. And if you want to draw some other things in here, well, you might be able to fit them in there. All right. You can color this. Just use the colors of your choice, and I hope it was fun.